Here's a question just for you, Hut, and it's taking us back a little bit toward our locally made theme. What is the value of a local business buying at say, a Books Inc., which is a locally owned small chain, mini chain, versus a Borders, or not that they exist anymore.
That's right.
but of a chain store,
right.
Or buying online at Amazon. What's the value of buying locally?
Well, there's all sorts of value in terms of quality of life. I think most people who live in San Francisco don't live here for the real estate prices, but this is a city of neighborhoods, and people who live in neighborhoods, live there purposefully. And part of what makes a neighborhood vibrant and accessible is the commercial, the shopping area. Whether it's a 24th Street or West Portal or the Marina, there are, dozens really of these neighborhoods. And so the local businesses in particular, partly because of the size of the city, as Mark said, it's 7 by 7. You only got a certain amount of space. You can't build 25,000 square foot big box stores in any case. Mm-hmm. So it tends to be smaller businesses. And so there's the sort of the culture. You live in a neighborhood, you can walk to the local bookstore, hardware store, that neighborhood, the restaurants, that's part of it. But the piece that a lot of people don't know about is that a lot of economic studies have been done now over the last 10 years that show that locally owned businesses give back to the local economy, reinvest at 2.5 to 3 times the amount. And just to make it easy for you, if you spend $100 with a locally owned business, $68 of that 100 is reinvested back in the economy. You take that same $100 and you spend it in a chain store, $43 is reinvested. And if you spend it online, especially with a company like Amazon that up until 2 months ago wasn't even collecting sales tax in the state, it's much less. Mm-hmm. So the economic reinvestment, and when you think about it, the locally owned businesses are using local architects, local web designers, they're probably buying their supplies at the local, using the local copy shop, whatever. A chain store does all that at the corporate headquarters. So that's the part of the reinvesting. I tell people, if you work at Stonestown and you go out to lunch in Stonestown, you will eat at a chain store. You have no choice. Even if you want to, that's all that's there. If you're working on 24th Street in Dogpatch, you have lots of choices. So there's one example of, 2 brothers. One works at Stonestown, one works in Dogpatch. The one in Dogpatch at a locally owned business is reinvesting his money at lunch in a locally owned. And that's just a small example, but that happens everywhere. And there is a huge economic benefit to that.